a great guy. He's one of my best friends, and he's funny. He's really easygoing. I think I've only seen him yell once in my whole life, and that was totally my fault.
He's not afraid of change, and he embraces it.
I think Dan is one of the most wonderful, affable people that I know. He's honest, he's sincere, he's a true professional.
Loves to laugh. He can be really serious on issues that matter to him. So I don't know anyone who doesn't like him. His mom died when he was 7, so his dad raised them. He grew up in Queens until his dad remarried and then moved to New Jersey. At age 15, he knew he wanted to be a dentist. A close family friend was a dentist, and he just decided, this is what I want, and he just made it happen. We met in a dental office. He was getting out of the Navy from Mare Island. He had been in Southeast Asia as a dentist attached to the Marines. And he was working in an office that I was an office manager at. And we used to say, as the drill turns, we just kind of connected.
We do a lot of things together. We go hiking, skiing, camping. We have a lot of fun. And you know, he's got a lot of interests outside of dentistry. He's a really committed person.
Joining us live now is Dr. Daniel Davidson, president of the San Francisco Dental Society. Doc, what are you finding down there? What kind of shape are these people's teeth in?
Well, it's really just started, Dean, and I'm sure we'll find the problems that we typically find in an adult and children population.
Many times people go into areas of politics or service when they get tired of private practice. But Dan has always been a very avid, terrific practitioner. And he's so good that I will let you into a secret. He's actually done dentistry on my mouth. He's one of my dentists, my personal dentist.
These are days of commercialism with coupons and all kinds of little deals. And you know, Dan's just a good, solid professional, and I think he attracts people because he is that way rather than some sort of a gimmick, let's say. There's no gimmicks with Dan.
When he was starting to look for an office manager, I applied for the job, and we started, and I thought, well, this will be great for a couple of years. But, you know, you just get, when you meet Dan, you just kind of get sucked into his enthusiasm. He always planned his own Christmas party. And it was always a secret for the rest of us until the day arrived. So it became such an event that patients would start coming into the office in November and asking, so what are you going to do this year? Has he told you? Have you figured it out?
I'm in real estate. I'm not in the dental field. But a colleague of mine was angry because his client was also a patient of my dad's, and the patient was going to my dad for real estate advice because, you know, his patients trust him for everything.
I got to know Dan pretty well about 25 years ago. Dan and I and Lynn Warren were assigned a pretty big job to get a good home for our component.
I was a president when we got the building. Dan was one of the people behind the scenes that acquired the real estate. And it was the job during my term to remodel the building and turn it into the Dental Society building. But Dan was a real mover in that movement.
So we found a building, and it needed a lot of restoration.
We had architectural issues. We had waivers, and we had to do planning. We had to do fundraising and encourage the members to support the project, all at the same time. Sure enough, one of our Dr. Doubtfuls gets up and says that our building is in a high crime area, that we should not buy it. Immediately, Dan pulls out a police report saying that our building is in fact in a low crime area. Somehow, I always remember that police report as being a superb example of how a good leader over-prepares.
My attitude was that we should restore it just for the needs of that time. And luckily, Dan disagreed with me and convinced us that we should plan not just for the immediate needs of the building, but for the future.
Probably wouldn't have happened without him. He's the type of person I would want to see as the president of CDA because he really represents the best in dentistry.
He's really good at taking a step back and really thinking things through. He's not someone who makes snap judgments, and he's really good at figuring out a situation and coming to the best solution.
I think being a dentist is stressful, and after all these years I think he's figured out how to manage that.
I think he'll communicate things, issues, politics very well. I think he will serve the profession and make dentistry look its best.
He has a gentle manner of persuasion that makes him a rare individual and a wonderful leader, and CD is lucky to have him.